Good morning, students. Today we will study the concept of protozoa and metazoa. We all know every organism in the world has its own biological characteristics. Since a large number of different organisms exist on earth, they are classified into groups, and this makes it easier to study and remember the organisms. All the organisms existing in the world are classified into 6 kingdoms. Out of these 6 kingdoms, Protozoa and Metazoa are two subgroups under Kingdom Protista and Kingdom Animalia respectively. Protozoans are single-celled organisms, while Metazoa includes all the multicellular animals of Kingdom Animalia. It is believed that protozoans have evolved before metazoans. Today we will study how the multicellular animals have evolved. The big question is whether the protozoans are unicellular or acellular. There is a morphological resemblance of protozoa with the single cell of metazoan body. Therefore, it is believed that metazoans arose by the aggregation of separate protozoan individuals, and this is known as the colonial hypothesis. So, we know that the protozoa are unicellular. Well then, how do the protozoans function? They require important biological processes like reproduction, digestion, and use of energy for their survival. And for this, they need to perform these functions. Hence, it uses its single cell to perform all these functions. So, even when they are unicellular, they are able to perform the basic biological activities that are necessary for life, similar to that of the multicellular organism. Therefore, a functional similarity with a multicellular animal exists. Hence the term acellular, which means a single protozoan cell performs all the activities of life like a metazoan. Therefore, it is not a single cell of a metazoan body. This gives rise to the cellularization hypothesis, which says that metazoans arose by cellularization of syncytium. This figure here explains both the hypotheses. In the figure A shows a large number of protozoans aggregating together to give rise to a colony or a multicellular animal, and the part B shows the cellularization hypothesis. Now we come to the metazoa. We all know that protozoans, because they are single-celled organisms, cannot grow beyond a certain limit. But the metazoans, because they are multicellular, can grow in size and they achieve a large size. And because they are large in size, they face two problems. The first is many cells are not in direct contact with the environment, and the second is the volume of the body increases as compared to the surface area of the body. Because of these two reasons, the important processes like respiration, nutrition, excretion cannot be completed by simple diffusion as in the case of the protozoans. Therefore, some system of organization has to be developed. What are these? The first is the division of labor. Since a metazoan consists of many cells, it is multicellular, it has more than one cell. So, the different cells here perform different functions. This means division of labor. Next is nutrition. Again, since it is large in size, it requires more nutrition, which means it requires more food. And this need for more food cannot be fulfilled at one place. it will have to move from one place to another in search of food. This will give rise to mobility. That means the locomotory organs, muscles, skeleton and sensory organs will develop and they will coordinate with each other, and this will help in locomotion. The next is symmetry. When the animal starts moving, to facilitate the locomotion, radial symmetry is sacrificed, which is present in the sessile animals, and bilateral symmetry is adopted. Then comes cephalization. Once the animal starts to move from one place to another, the portion of the body that is at the anterior end will first come in contact with the food or with any other obstacle. Therefore, the sensory organs or the sensory structures will develop at that anterior end. So, cephalization starts to take place. Next is the habitat. We all know life originated in water. During evolution, animals migrated to land from water. On land, there is scarcity of water, and water is also lost by dehydration. For this, another system developed, that is the integumentary system, to prevent the water loss or the dehydration resulting from it. The integumentation protects the body from dehydration. It also protects the body against abrupt changes in temperature and maintains the homeostasis, and additionally it also helps to excrete the waste materials through perspiration. Then comes the respiration. In water, the respiration takes place by the moist skin or through the external gills, but on land, the respiration takes place by the internal organs, that are the lungs. Then comes the excretion. In water, the nitrogenous waste products are excreted in the form of ammonia, but on land, as there is scarcity of water, they are excreted in the form of urea and uric acid. Fertilization. In water, external fertilization takes place because sperms and eggs are carried by water, but on land, the fertilization is internal. So, in the years of progressive evolution, many diverse and significant structural and functional changes have taken place in both protozoans and metazoans. And in this evolution, the single-celled protozoans have maintained their basic unicellular structural organizations, while the metazoans maintained their fundamental multicellular structure and have evolved and have resulted in changes in levels of structural organization. When it comes to protozoa, it is like a cell of a multicellular animal with all cell organelles. But the relative size of the protozoan cell is larger than a single metazoan cell, and the cytoplasm undergoes cyclosis. The tendency to change from unicellular to multicellular state exists by the formation of colonies or by the cellularization of syncytium. As far as the metazoa is concerned, the metazoa comprises of all the animals that are multicellular. It is further classified into two types, parazoa and eumetazoa. The parazoa contains all the organisms of the phyla Porifera and Placozoa, and the eumetazoa contains all the organisms which are made up of cells, tissues and organ systems, that is from Cnidaria, that is Coelenterata, to chordates. So, we have seen that during the course of evolution, structural and physiological organization of animals have become more complex and diverse. In our next lesson, we will study how the levels of organization that have been formed to simplify diversity. Thank you.